Hello, welcome back to Rome Total War. Today we're going to be potentially expanding on 3 different fronts. So we've got Thessalonica up here, our new conquest, and we have a bit of a decision to make here about what exactly to do in terms of splitting our forces. So we have a pretty big force in the town itself, and then a kind of medium-sized force just outside the town. We can of course have a go at going for Bilazora, but you can see to the east we do have 2 Thracian armies there, fairly small, but the problem is we don't know exactly what they have hidden in the fog of war. So we're going to head to the east and just see if there's anything in Byzantium itself that concerns us. Doesn't look like it. Pretty weak. Bastane are, I think, pretty good units, but I'm not going to let a single unit of Bastane put me off. So I think we can potentially expand in both directions at once, maybe. That might be overstretching it, but we'll see. Over in Cyrene, we're definitely not strong enough to go after this town immediately, but we are potentially going to bring some more units across. I'm kind of surprised they backed off this, because they pretty much won the fight before. But there you go, apparently the AI has decided they weren't strong enough to take us out, even though they definitely were. And here in the south of Iberia, this one's pretty clear cut. I'm pretty sure we can safely expand towards Carthago Nova and take it down. It's strong. In particular, the faction leader with his 3 silver chevrons, slightly concerning, but I'm pretty sure we can do it. And in order to get there, we just need to take out this fairly small rebel force, which we can do immediately. They're going to actually back off into the town itself, or into the Spanish lands, but don't think that's going to affect anything. Once again, we're just going to go and chase them down. We want to deal with them at some point anyway. This should be fine, but because of auto-resolve being what it is, we're just going to take the fight. So all in all, they're a pretty weak group of units, and if we can just charge into them from all sides at once, this should be pretty clear cut. We do have range superiority, I think. Actually, in fact, we have 0 ranged units, but we do have lots of Pila, and a large enough number of units that I think we could actually beat them in a ranged fight, even their skirmishes. But best option probably is just going to be to charge in with all our forces at once, try and inspire an immediate rout, and we will almost certainly take a few losses, but hopefully not too many. Shouldn't need to actually use the majority of my units. These guys are going to try and back off, that's fine. They didn't actually go too far. Are we a little bit close here perhaps? Are they able to fire? I don't think they are. Looks like they are going to potentially come to attack us. I think we just need to charge in with everything we have. So this is the risky bit. This is where we potentially take quite a few losses. I'm hoping that just by charging in with as many as we are about to, we'll be able to rout them, as we have taken down the first unit. Skirmishers will rout pretty quickly, but these guys could be slightly tougher, although they've broken too, so that's pretty much it.
The gods be praised! The enemy's hearts are full of fear, and now they flee!
I think even though there's a slight risk of friendly fire here, we do just need to try and clear these out as quickly as possible. Or at least as thoroughly as possible, because leaving any alive does create a risk that there will be a very small but very annoying band of rebels left over, as we are still taking a few losses here and there. But I think at this point should be job done. Pretty sure we can just escape this. Okay, so they got 25 kills. I think we got a couple of those back. I think they must have just been injuries or something, because we clearly lost fewer than 25 men in total. Slight issue is that they are equites, which means we can't replace them, but that's fine. Like, we're kind of over equites now. We don't really need that kind of thing anymore. I mean, we do. We'll keep the ones we have, but they are fairly mediocre cavalry units, and I think we can do without them as wow. That has actually revealed the faction leader, who I think is waiting to ambush, but hasn't managed to do it. Not trivial. He's got a massive force with him, and we have to remember that there's another massive force inside the town itself. This could be slightly difficult. It's not like that fight against Numidia where they had, like, crap loads of family members. That's the real issue. But there are still some Silver Chevron units here, and could be slightly tougher than it looks. I think one thing I'm going to do... I'm definitely going to want all my units, but one thing I am going to do is separate all of the weaker units. These two, perhaps. Send them over to there. Why did that move the faction leader? I don't understand. He still has enough movement points, so I guess it's fine. But we're going to recruit these two units. Not really sure, not convinced by the barbarian mercenaries, but I feel like just everything we can get is going to help a little bit. We're going to step back to where we were. And we're just going to try and put ourselves in a position where we can reinforce. I think this works. Certainly seems to think we're close enough. We are able to attack him. That actually forces him to back off. I'm pretty happy just to keep going for him, because otherwise there's a risk that he's going to join all these forces together, and that's not quite going to work, I don't think. Okay, need to actually figure out which units are still able to move and which ones aren't. So the cavalry can, this first unit of Principes can. That's pretty much it. I'm not sure this is going to be enough to handle that fight massively convincingly. Even so, the AI being what it is, it might be possible. They are prone to mistakes. Let's give it a go. This is going to be a big one. Unfortunately, I don't think we can do anything else. Okay, so we're going to have a fairly small force here, but we'll have a go. It's a big prize to have if we can take him down. We can see that he has 85 soldiers with him. That's going to be hard. But let's go for it. Let's see what we can do. They're probably going to pull away from us because they didn't actually want to take the fight themselves, although back then we did have a larger force with us. I do expect that they will pull back slightly, which could be a good thing or a bad thing. It kind of depends on exactly where they go and if we're able to catch out some of their units as they back away. So if we look at the campaign or the terrain itself, it's interesting. There's a big rock, a big impassable rock. There's a bit of a hill, but I don't think either of us will get a particularly significant hill bonus. Wouldn't be surprised if they just start off right towards the back somewhere. Unfortunately, this is a very imbalanced army, 0 ranged units, so we're going to need to just try and close in with everything we have all at once. It's a little bit of a mess. I'm assuming if we just start the fight, they're not going to be anywhere near us.
Reinforcements have arrived. This is hopeful news indeed.
Okay, I'm not sure if they're going to go for the hill here. I think they are. I think they are actually going to come and try and fight us. Okay, that's interesting. Gotta be pretty careful. Let's try and loop around them. Yeah, they're definitely coming towards us. They've got their general's armored bodyguard there. If we can catch that guy out with a load of peeler, that would be perfect. I might actually stop these guys just so that they can fire as soon as they're ready. And the big cavalry horde, I would quite like to take out their round shield cav. We don't have to worry about them flanking us later on. Unfortunately, it looks like they're not massively willing to take us on there. I think we just have to slowly push on them. So they are starting to spread out once again now. Okay, I'm pretty sure we can just do this. We just charge in with everything we have. They have some barbarian mercenaries there. Over here they've got Iberian infantry. I think these are not charging in the direction I told them to. Need to be very careful. In particular, I need to make sure that the general does not get caught and killed. Okay, we've engaged. We definitely outnumber them here, so we just want to try and rout them before they can gather up and back up their friends. Managed to rout that first unit. Barbarian mercenaries there. Need to look out for this guy in particular, the general's armored bodyguard. He's going to be really tough to deal with. So I don't think these are great anti-cav units, but still need to be a little bit careful. And we have at least routed some of them. Got warhounds in the back, not too worried about that. And potentially completely surround them. Okay, so those are routed, but they still have a fair few actual soldiers left, so I'm not convinced it's completely fine, as while they are charging in now, General's bodyguard coming in among the rest. We do just have to surge in there and try and take him out, I think. As long as he's busy here, that means he's not going to be able to back up his units on the other side of the field, and even though I can only half see what's happening, I think we're winning over there. This is not very nice as a fight here. He can definitely beat us, soldier for soldier. He can really do a lot of damage to us, but I'm hoping that because we are mostly surrounding him, we're going to be able to make that work, as this is actually not going quite as well as I would like, and I think we're going to need to charge them as we have started to break them. That's good, but over here in the main area, we can see we're not doing a great job of scaring the general. Do have a few extra units I can potentially bring in. He's down to about 30. I'm going to try and charge my cavalry in. They are pretty much free now. We can see that they've got some infantry in the back here, but we need to get the general back over here to improve the morale. They are going to come in with skirmishers at close range, surprisingly. They definitely haven't used all of their projectiles yet, but that's fine. We'll allow that to happen, and we're going to try and charge these barbarian mercenaries in the back before they can scare us too much. As I think this charge will rout them, including the leader himself, and then it's just a case of routing down, or routing whoever's left, as yeah, he is starting to flee. Now we need to try and catch everyone else out.
The enemy king has been killed! This will surely make his followers waver.
This was a much bigger fight than I was expecting to start with. It's in some ways not as good as it looks, because I didn't realize this guy was still around, so all the losses we've taken here are losses that I didn't really expect to take anyway. We have broken them over there, that's good. Pretty much their whole force must be fleeing now. There are a couple of units left at the back. We're not going to be able to chase down the round ship cav, but Iberian infantry are going to break as soon as we go towards them, and it doesn't look like, yeah, it doesn't look like we're actually fighting with anyone, so indeed they are all fleeing, and we're just going to try and run down as many as we can. Ideally the cavalry would do that, because the others aren't too great at doing that. Our mercenaries did fairly well, I think. At least one of them didn't die, and the other one got stuck into the fighting without routing. That's kind of all you can ask. I think I'm increasingly learning with this game that whether you rout or not is all to do with whether you outnumber the opponents. Like, not literally all to do with that, but like, that is a huge factor. There are so many fights that come down to whether you're able to surround your opponent or not. With that said, there have been some fights where we have surrounded some opponents and still ended up breaking, and those are always very sad, but for the most part, if you can just charge into an opponent from all sides with the cavalry, with cavalry units, even pretty weak cavalry units, that's usually enough. That's got to be enough. We'll just speed up and wait for that last guy to die. Yeah, so it's not perfect. We just lost about 600 men, but the good thing is I'm pretty sure that's got to be almost everything Spain has left outside of Carthago Nova, which means we do still have enough to take down Carthago Nova itself, and they shouldn't really have anything else to actually fight us with after that. They do have one town to the north, Oscar, but it's pretty lightly defended. I don't think we can actually make it to the town itself, not even with our cav. That's okay. Hang on, didn't mean to do that. Okay, whatever, it's fine. I'm sure we can take this down. I'm definitely not going to try and assault it in the town itself, but we can most definitely just surround and besiege them and try and starve them out. Can we join these two forces together? Looks to me like we can. Next turn at least. And we're just going to bring these guys over and put them in with Aulus. Okay, and that's pretty good progress for one turn, at least on one frontier. We're going to go ahead and keep recruiting peasants, I think, because we have a pretty good set of forces around here. We don't have the ability yet to recruit legionary cohorts, so don't really want to go for the early version. As usual, those are kind of weak, or at least kind of not cost efficient. So let's just keep recruiting either Roman cav or peasants. I'm going to go with peasants, and I'm tempted just to go straight for the army barracks, but we might not need to. Not sure what's going on here with the governor's palace. Ah, councillor's chambers. Okay, so we need to get to 24,000 pop before we can actually upgrade that. So we're stuck with a fairly nasty culture penalty for now. I'm pretty tempted to buy the army barracks or to start building them, but you know what? I think just to be safe, we're going to go with some Roman cav, just to make sure this push absolutely cannot fail. And that should be fine for now in Spain. We do want to spend that money in Cordoba. We do want to build something, but I'm not completely sure what. Highways could be good too, just for the money. Over towards Cyrene, we're being blockaded here by Thrace. Should be able to scare them off pretty easily with our Corvus Cincarim. Should pretty much completely destroy this. I'm going to bring this ship over, I think, as well, just to back up. As we do have a few forces here, I will, I think, put these guys in the ship, which is actually going to stop us from reaching. Okay, I think I'll leave them there for now, and I'll take this force. Okay, they actually seem to have a better chance than I expected. They don't even... well, they can't flee anyway, but we've not managed to do too much damage there. Our Corvus Cincarim is still pretty near to a full stack, and these guys are mostly destroyed. We're going to drop these guys in here, and we're going to put the spy in there too. Although, we should figure out exactly what we're doing with this smaller navy. Shouldn't be threatened by the Thracians here, but do we actually have enough forces to decisively make a push on the Numidians? So we definitely want to bring the Auxilia over. I think we want the Archer Auxilia too. And got an extra spy here, which we're just going to send to the north. A couple of fleets here that are in need of repair from what I can see. Send them over towards Rhodes. Should have actually sent them to Athens in hindsight, but never mind. We'll bring these to the south. Can pick up units with this as well, so let's do that. Let's go ahead and take the Roman Cav and the Archer Auxilia. In Athens, we're going to make sure we recruit something to fill that gap. So let's go ahead and get some more archers. Corinth is just going to pretty much just pump out nothing but legionary cohorts in the foreseeable future. We do have a few extra cohorts that we can send to, and I'm going to actually send the Triarii because they are very good against cavalry, and the Numidians don't really have anything that scares me other than their cav, specifically their generals, so that should be fine.
Yes, master. Stowing away. Looking for spies. Aye, aye, Captain. Out of move, sir. Sir.
This might be overkill, but let's make sure we completely do it. I think one thing to bear in mind is that this is not just going to be our force for taking this last town, it's also going to be our force for potentially defending if we get sneak attacked by the Egyptians, which is reasonably likely, I think. So, worth taking seriously. Over here in Rhodes, we're going to go ahead and I think actually we can dial it back in Rhodes. It's kind of annoying to transfer the units over, so let's just kind of leave that. Let's go ahead and recruit some Roman Cav in Thessalonica. And do we have any units that we can send up from Larissa? It looks like we do have some archers which will do, I think. As they do have quite a few assassins starting to surround us. We do have the option of attempting to assassinate the faction leader again next turn. Is it the faction leader or the factionaire? It's the factionaire. I don't know if this is true, but the impression I've always had is that if you fail to assassinate someone multiple times in a row, that increases the chance that you will be killed while attempting to do it. I'm not sure if that's true, that's just kind of something that makes sense in my head and is in keeping with my general experiences. So these have 5 units on them. The further force I think has a similar number. I do feel like our stronger force should go to the north. I think Herennius is going to finally separate from Marcellus. Was he always called Marcellus Victor, or has he been renamed that because he's won so many fights? Not really sure, he's a popular hero though. Problem with this guy is he does have doubtful courage. And that's really not good. But I think on balance he's still worth using. Let's see, I think we will take at least 1 unit of Cretan archers with that guy. We'll take a stronger unit of archer auxilia. And let's have a look. So this force is mostly infantry. It's reasonably well balanced. Let's see what we can see actually of what they have. So these are skirmishers, or peltas I should say, Folksmen, Imbilazora itself, phalanx pikemen. Those are going to be pretty difficult to deal with. I'm going to actually send this guy back just to get a better look at the Thracians. Next army, which is again phalanx pikemen. If it all joins together that could be an issue, but might be able to catch them out before they have the chance. Start bringing these guys together. Okay, so that's a fairly weak force. That's not going to be enough to take down Bilazora. I think we want spearmen, some kind of spearmen. So we'll take the Triarii. Unfortunately, there are no mercenaries available to recruit. That's something that would have helped a lot, but it's not going to be an option. Okay. Thessalonica, because it has such low population, it's actually fairly easy to keep happy. So we're going to send... I think, in particular, the Cretan archers are going to be effective against phalanx pikemen, so we want to send them with the main guy. Probably both units, I think. And I feel like we could even risk leaving the Velites behind. This feels like a slightly weak force, to be honest. Perhaps we should send the archers. So we've actually only got like 4 decent units, in fact more like 3.5 decent units of infantry there. That's not going to be enough. Let's try sending these as well. This is really borderline. We're not actually going to be able to chase these down.
Can I be of service?
What happens if we try and bribe? Okay. Not too surprisingly, that does not work. This feels really risky. I wonder if we can just get through and attack Bilazora without involving this particular force. But now it all backs up into Bilazora itself, and we can now see the full forces we would be up against. This guy is a good defender. It's worth bearing in mind. How many command stars does this guy have? He has 3 command stars. So we got 3 units of phalanx pikemen to worry about, 3 units of folksmen, so pretty scary infantry. And we don't have that much in the way of cavalry to actually take those out. But we do have 2 units of Cretan archers. I think as long as they don't come and back it up, we could probably win this. If they come towards us. And Ideally, we can actually back up Herennius with our archers next turn. And we're going to also go ahead and build... Actually, I think with the denarii being pretty scarce at this point, we're going to actually hold back on doing that. We're going to instead recruit some Roman cav from Larissa. I don't think Corinth will be an issue, because we have got the large Temple of Vulcan coming in next turn. In Sparta, we can't really recruit too much. Can recruit some cavalry. I think that's worth doing. And that leaves us with 4,000 in the bank. We're going to go ahead and go to Corduba, and I think we will actually go with the highways. They're pretty cheap, and I think they will pay for themselves. Which leaves just 2,300 left in the bank. Let's check that Capua is busy. Yeah, Capua is busy. I'm tempted in Syracuse just to recruit another Corvus Kincareem, just to drive off these pirate ships. I'm not sure that's the best use of money though. Let's send this guy over to Carthage, makes them slightly happier, that's good. So Thapsus isn't doing too badly. I think, actually, Carthage is going to complete a blacksmith in 1 turn. If we recruit some Praetorian cohorts in 2 turns, they're going to be pretty strong. And we can potentially send them over to Capua at some point when we do decide to take down the other Roman factions. I'm fairly happy just to leave 1,500 in the bank. Let's end the turn there. Gaul's still trying to bribe us. Clear as day. Spain just stays put, not too surprised by that. Didn't catch what the Thracians did. Okay, so they've not come out to attack us. I think their population drops every turn. Yeah, it looks like they've actually lost a few soldiers there. Surprised these guys haven't attempted to reinforce themselves. It's possible that they're moving back towards Byzantium, but pretty surprised this guy didn't back off. Definitely vulnerable to missile units. And we have got quite a few. Okay, he backs off. This should be very doable. Pretty much just need to shower him with arrows. He's going to be forced to come to us. And we'll take many losses on the way. And also, because he's purely infantry based, we can potentially surround him, flank him, and rout him using our cav. Don't have too much of it, but we do have an extremely strong general unit. So, I think we should be completely fine. Let's just take these 4. We don't even need to worry about loose formation. I'm not sure why they started like that. That's interesting. But we're going to try and run them down. And we're just going to line these guys up, put them on fire at will, and we have a pretty decent number of cavalry that we can use if we do get chased down, but I think they are going to try and run up that hill, which is completely fine. We're not actually going to engage them at all if we don't have to. Should be able to get quite a few kills just using the archers. Militia hoplites have pretty low morale, but I think we definitely want to focus down the phalanx pikemen, particularly while they have their backs turned. It's going to make them pretty easy targets. I think we're having to chase them down at the moment. Okay, they've decided to stay put on the hill. They're going to have to come towards us. I don't think they'll just let us fire at them. As, yeah, it does look like they're going to try and charge towards us now, using the Folksmen. These guys have no shields, so very easy targets for the archers. Since they are on the move, I think it's worth taking them out. They're coming towards us with militia hoplites, that's fine. We're in skirmish mode, so we should be able to outrun them completely fine. I can see we've been able to take quite a few easy kills there. And we're not going to let them catch up to the cav. No reason to do that. See how quickly their numbers drop when they're being attacked. think we're just about going to get away before they can reach us, maybe? Oh, they've routed. Perfect. Okay. No need to engage there. These guys are coming towards us. This looks like we're still shooting the Folksman for now, but that's not ideal. We did lose one guy, I think. That's fine though. Most likely friendly fire. Flying Spikeman coming towards us. We just need to back off. So you can see when they turn, they do actually take quite a few losses from each volley. So I think the AI is really torn between whether to try and chase us down or just to try and back off. And I suspect that's going to be pretty easy to take advantage of. The General's unit would of course be a good target. Looks like we're going for them anyway, so that's fine. Don't really want to waste too many arrows on the militia hoplites, those aren't really going to be a big threat. Because we still have most of our arrows left. We're targeting the wrong unit. Okay, so these guys are shaken, so I think if we just shoot them like that, we might actually be able to rout them. Let's see. Okay, they're wavering. If we charge them in the back, we might be able to break them. As oh wow, we've actually taken out loads there, as yeah, they are now broken. Time to stop firing, as we did take out a few of our own units there, which is kind of annoying, but there you go. We can actually see that we've really taken out almost all of them using just the archers. It's not bad. That's probably going to be mostly the Thracians, but I think even Archer Auxiliary are pretty decent. They have good range in any case. So they're really down low now. Might actually be able to rout them just with flaming ammo, so let's give that a go. So you can see that I think they've actually gone to spread stance. They've almost nothing left. Not routing though. Oh, now they are. Okay. There we go.
The gods be praised! The enemy's hearts are full of fear and now they are.
Okay, so definitely very happy with that. And it went a lot better than expected. I'm pretty sure they didn't have that unit composition at the start. I'm not sure if they changed it over the end turn sequence. Not really sure about that one, but that was no obstacle at all. And if they don't have anything else, we should be able to push on Byzantium with no trouble at all, as it looks like this is their other force. I have to bear in mind they do have 2 more towns to the north, and it seems pretty likely that they will be able to send something from there. So we do have to be a little bit careful. Unfortunately, still no sign of any mercenaries to recruit. But we can make it to Byzantium, I think, next turn. I'm not quite sure. There is a slight hint of blue at the end there, suggesting that we can't quite make it next turn. But that'd be great if we could. As soon as we besiege them, they're no longer able to recruit any units in Byzantium, so definitely would be a good thing to do, as I don't think, yeah, we're not able to try and assassinate anything in the city of Bylazora anymore, so I think we will use this guy as a bit of a pseudo-scout, send him towards this city, and we'll see if we can net ourselves a few easy kills. We do have the spy on his way as well. I think we'll send him to the east. End of turn report, we've made lots of money. Not sure where that came from, but that's good. Lots of retinue expansion. Pius Probus. Better management. Secundus Valens. I'm guessing all of this is in the capital. Yeah, because we do have an obscenely large number of generals in there, which might seem overkill at this point, but you have to bear in mind we are of course going to be going to war with the other Roman factions at some point. So it's all going to kick off, and we're going to want as many generals as possible to occupy as many towns as possible. We've got loads of money to spend, and we are now good to start assaulting Carthago Nova, which it looks like we can actually only reach it from across the bridge, so that's interesting. Still, we can actually go straight in, but I feel like that's just a bad option. We would take lots of losses. They are pretty strong, and there's no real reason to take lots of losses here. We can try and starve them out. They will be able to survive for 6 more turns, but in the grand scheme of things, that's not really too many turns, and if we can take it down with as few losses as possible, then we'll be much more able to take on Numantia later on. Elsewhere, we do have our forces ready to start sailing to the south. Is this going to be enough? I'm not really sure. I guess we have to bear in mind we do have some extra cav coming, and we should have some cav in this city, which yes we do. So we'll board those. This ship is a pretty easy target, I think. Not going to threaten us at all. So we could try and attack from the shores over here, I think. Can't disembark there apparently. But I think the best option is just going to be to play it safe, go down to Cyrene and attack from there. Going to take our Corvus Kincareem and try and sink this if we can. It probably won't go down this turn, but we'll be pretty weakened, as it's gone all the way over here now. Looks like the pirates actually gave up on attacking Syracuse. Not sure why. But we have lots of money in the bank, lots of places to spend it, and it's looking pretty good on all fronts. Maybe not this front, we don't know exactly what Numidia has. We did have a diplomat around here, but I think he might have died, or I can't remember what happened to him. So I'm not sure what's going to happen there, but it's looking good in Spain, it's looking good in Thrace, and I think we've done enough for this part. So thanks for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.